We tech reviewers usually get to test products for about a week or so before coming out with a full review. Sometimes there's a product that I unbox, but something more important comes up. You guys start asking me about something else, and by the time I get back to it, most of you have lost interest. So since I buy most of my stuff, I just sell it and move on. But rarely, very rarely, there's a device that you guys don't forget about. For months, all I get are comments about why I haven't done the review yet, and this happens to be one of those devices. So why did I make you wait? Well, I'll explain that before the end of the video. For now, I promised you a review and here it is. Better late than never, right? But before we get to it, if this is your first time here, or in case you're too bummed out with the delays and claim not to remember, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech, and you're watching our full review of the Xiaomi Mi Pad 2. So let's quickly get through the build and placements. Unlike its predecessor, the Mi Pad 2 is built out of metal. To the front, on top, we have a 5-megapixel front-facing camera, a notification LED, the display, and backlit capacitive keys at the bottom. To the back, we have an 8-megapixel rear camera, a couple of microphones, Mi branding, and the speakers. The volume rockers can be found to the right, the 3.5mm headphone jacks up top, there's nothing to the left, and to the bottom, we have the USB Type-C port. If you feel something's missing, yeah, you're right, the microSD slot from the original Mi Pad has been omitted here. Bad move, Xiaomi. Bad move. I feel microSD is very important, especially on a tablet, which tends to be used more for media consumption than your traditional smartphone will. And I feel here's where you need a lot more storage. Maybe I'm wrong. Here's a poll, let me know what you think. Anyway, that said, Xiaomi seems to have done a great job with the Mi Pad 2's build. The overall footprint is smaller than that of its predecessor. It's just 7mm thick now. At 322 grams, it also weighs in about 40 grams lighter. The bezels are smaller too. Feels quite well built. On paper, the display remains the same. The Mi Pad 2 retains a 7.9-inch IPS LCD display with a 1536 by 2048 pixel resolution, meaning a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch, or what Apple calls Retina. Well, the Mi Pad had Gorilla Glass 3 protection. Xiaomi is not mentioned what they are using for protection here on the Mi Pad 2. That's disappointing. That said, they have improved the quality of the display itself. This display is brighter and the colors, while not the most accurate, are much better than what's found on the first generation Mi Pad. The viewing angles are stellar, and with a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch, this display is definitely good for reading, browsing, or watching videos. As for the camera, there's an 8-megapixel shooter to the back and a 5-megapixel shooter to the front. These are tablet cameras, average, they work. What more can I say about them? And anyway, if you really want to see, here are a few more samples. Underneath the hood, the Mi Pad 2 is powered by an Intel Atom X5 Z8500 chip. Now that's 4 cores clocked at 2.24 GHz each with Intel HD graphics, 2 GB of RAM, and there's 64 GB of onboard storage. All this is powered by a 6190 mAh non-user replaceable battery that's over 500 mAh smaller than the battery found on its predecessor. This is probably how Xiaomi managed to reduce the thickness of this guy. The benchmark scores are okay, but remember, this is not a tablet for gaming. With less intensive titles, there were no issues, but crank up the intensity and the Mi Pad 2 falters. It's not just because of the lack of horsepower underneath. Very few games are optimized for Intel HD graphics, and that makes the performance even worse than it actually is. Given that this is a follow-up to the Mi Pad, which sported a Tegra K1 chip, as far as gaming goes, the Mi Pad 2 kinda feels like a downgrade. With regular usage, things are a tad better, like if you wanted to watch a movie or read a book, the basics it can do well. Remember, if you do want to watch a movie on this, the 4:3 aspect ratio will cause black bars, kinda ruining the experience. The audio output is average at best. Talking about average, let's talk RAM management. And calling RAM management average is me being very generous, because this Mi Pad 2 can hardly retain a couple of apps in memory. I've constantly faced apps being aggressively killed at the background. Maybe it's because of just 2 gigs of RAM, maybe it's because of an optimized MIUI. Talking about MIUI, The Mi Pad 2 launched with MIUI 7 built on top of Android 5.1 Lollipop, and it has hence been updated to MIUI 8, but is still stuck on Lollipop. Given the Intel chip underneath and Xiaomi's track record, I highly doubt the Mi Pad 2 will see Marshmallow. While this might not be a huge issue, Xiaomi's refusal to release sources means there's little to no development on this either, so you can't even flash a lot of custom ROMs. Again, we could look past it if MIUI 8 didn't feel half-baked. Most of the new MIUI 8 features, including long-time regulars like the security app or theme support, aren't present here on the tablet version of MIUI, and the basic experience itself is not good. There's lag all over, apps take quite a bit to launch, and the user experience is just disappointing. What is not disappointing is the price. The Mi Pad 2 is priced at 999 yuan for the 16GB variant and 1299 yuan for the 64GB variant. That's about $145 or 10,000 rupees and $190 or 13,000 Indian rupees respectively. For that price, you're basically getting a very well-built tablet with an excellent display that's let down by the chip and the software underneath. So if you want a tablet for media consumption mainly, then the Mi Pad 2 might be something you can consider. Again, for media consumption, the 16GB variant makes absolutely no sense, so thank you Xiaomi for removing the microSD slot. So 64 it is. And what about the Windows variant, you ask? Well, remember all I said about performance for the Android variant? Now take that, multiply it by a factor of 4, and that is how the Windows variant fares. I had it on Windows for many months. In my unboxing, I told you guys I'd probably try to use it as a portable Windows device, since all I do on my Windows laptop is just the basic script, take notes and whatnot. And even for that, I found the performance lacking. And that is why I took a long time testing it. I tried to make it work. I wanted to do a review with the Windows variant, and it just felt so bad that it felt stupid doing a video on it, and that's why I flashed it to Android and then ended up shooting this video, hence all the delay. So sorry about that. Anyway, but if you were to buy a Mi Pad 2, I would suggest buying the Windows variant. I'll leave a link to a tutorial. It's pretty easy on how to convert it to the Android variant, because if you do buy a Windows variant like I did, you can extract the keys, and it's that Windows key I'm using on my Mi Notebook Air right now. So it's the Windows variant and the Android variant. The 64GB ones are priced the same, so I'd suggest picking up the Windows variant and converting it. Anyway, if you do wanna pick one up, I'll leave direct links in the description below, and that's it for my 2 cents on the Mi Pad 2. Do you agree with what I've had to say in this video? If you didn't, let me know what is it that you disagree with. And that's it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, vote it down if you didn't, and for more videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Make sure you do this so that you get notified as soon as we upload a new video. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.